Okay, I've been reading a lot of forums about people that has this exact same feeder, having the exact same problems I have, and what I did to fix it. It's a Wildgame feeder. They are notorious for stop feeding, and you come back up, you haven't been here for 2 weeks, you come up, you open it up, and it says jam. So here it is, been 2 weeks, you thought everything was good to go, it's not been doing anything. One of the most aggravating things that you can have for a feeder is leaving it and it not doing anything. This is what I did to fix it. I'm going to show you a couple things about setting it up correctly, and hopefully it'll fix it like it did for me. Let's get this started. Okay, so let me go through the scenario I had. This is my second year with this feeder, first year in this spot. First year I had no issues, it ran perfect. Second year I come up here, it ran good for about a week, and then it quit. And I thought I fixed it, come back a week later and see that it had quit. And this was an ongoing thing that was going on. And as you see, I have mine set up with the optional solar panel charger for the battery. Unfortunately for the battery, you have to go up through the bottom, which you have to open this hole just a little bit bigger than what it is to get your leads up through. And then inside your box, of course, you have your solar panel and then your control panel hooked up to the same rechargeable 6-volt battery. So don't make the mistake of having your 6-volt battery and you buying a solar charger, and a solar charger is a 12-volt. Make sure it's a 6-volt to 6-volt. So, as you know as well as I do, when you turn your feeder on and you've been gone for a while, this is what you should want to see. It says ready. And what I have on mine, what we do is, of course, obviously it's 9 o'clock in the morning. We have the first feed at 7:15 on low, and this is for 20 seconds, which is the max of this feeder. Feed 2 we have at 4 p.m. We have it on low, and we have it also again on the max setting of 20 seconds. And then you have 3 is off, you have 4 is off, and when you're done, you always want to make sure that this feeder is in a ready position. Now, how did I fix my jam? Let me get over here because it's a little bit, I'm not too tall, I'm 6'2", and I can barely get into this sometimes. Okay, so here's your feeder hopper. Your jam most generally is not coming from where your corn is coming down on your spinner. This is what you need to do to try to prevent it from happening. Is first of all, you want to get your feeder and you want to make it as level as possible. So once you level that out, second thing you want to do is you want to make this, your control box, as level as possible too. Well, you know, I know you might say, well, this is level, so this is going to be level. No, that's not true, because this has adjustable brackets on the side. You have one of these on each side. If you know you got your feeder level, what you can do is you can take a tape measure from the center of this bolt and measure it down to this bracket right here. And then what you can do is on this side is do the same thing. Center of the bolt down to right here. Mine happens to be 2 inches from here to here. Same here, 2 inches here to here. So then what I did was put a level here, and it's completely level. Now, if you look at this feeder just right, you'll notice that this feeder is, you know, cylindrical obviously, and then it comes down to a point. So what does this do? When it rains hard enough, your water is going to come down through here, and it's going to run down the side of this feeder, and where's it going? It's going to go to your hopper, or some of it, maybe not all of it. But what happened in my case is I noticed it would say jam. I'd come up and I'd be like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. Works perfect, so what's the deal? Anyway, I'd leave, come back, jam. So this is how I resolved it. What I had done is I had taken some WD-40, and that is going to be very hard to see, but just underneath of that collar is just a big enough gap that I think that there's a bearing in there that where this motor, as you see, here's your motor, and that shaft comes up through there, and you see that little gap right there above that collar and below the spindle. I think there's a bearing in there that kept locking up because of moisture. So what I did was WD-40'd it. I'd spin it 2 or 3 times, WD-40 it, and then after I got it good and loose, what I did was take some just regular automotive grease and shove down in there, because what happens is you're going to get moisture in there, and then you're going to get corn dust in there. And corn dust is going to lock it up. It's just going to turn into concrete down in there and lock that bearing up. So what you do is, if you put that WD-40 in there, unlock it, put your grease in there, that'll give you a barrier. As you see, mine is almost gone now, and that will keep the corn dust out of it and keep the moisture out of it. So let me show you what we've done. I'm going to show you a test. This has been going on for 3 weeks now. Let's see, it's turned on. Okay, so here goes the test. Since I have adjusted that, so there you go. There's your typical 20-second feed. It's throwing corn all the way up here past me, and it's doing a fantastic job. So, as you see, I've got tons of corn on the ground here. You don't have to feed for 20 seconds. What you can do to get more corn or less corn for 20 seconds is you can adjust the gap between your hopper and your spin plate, and that will give you more or less. Mine is just about at the max of the width because I want to throw as much as I can for that 20 seconds. I have enough deer coming up here to eat that I can come up here this evening and all this corn's gone. Hey, well, I hope that helped you resolve the issues with the Wildgame feeder. It has completely resolved mine. I know it's an aggravating feeder, but once you do what I said, I think you'll notice that it'll work fine for you. You won't have any issues. If it helped you out, do me a favor. Help me out. Leave me a like or a comment. You never know what I'm going to do next. You never know what I'm going to review, what I'm going to hunt for, what I'm going to do. Subscribe and stay in touch. Thank you.